Relive your youth by hitting the road. Go on vacation with a new friend. Hitchhike if you must. Just make sure you pack a good playlist for the ride. You're with the Antler Queens. Hey guys, what's up? You're listening to or watching the Antler Queens, the most inclusive Yellowjackets podcast, where we shove peace, love, and Yellowjackets down your gorgeous, beautiful goddamn throats. I am here today with my good friend Lexi Luther. Hey, Lexi.
How are you
Love
doing?
the name. Love the name.
That would be my roller derby name if they didn't really hurt each other and it was just fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's perfect. I love it. You should have your name legally changed to that. Except we just talked about how much of a pain in the ass that is. But if you ever feel like changing your name again, you should definitely consider that.
Absolutely.
So we are recording our recap for Old Wounds today, which is season 2, episode 4 of Yellowjackets. It was directed by Scott Winant and written by Ashley Lyle, Bart Nickerson, and Julia Bicknell. And before we get started on everything, Lexi, do you want to introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you, blah, blah, blah?
Hello, I am Lexi. And you can find me. I'm Gen X Goddess on Instagram, spelled, the cute way, GAWD. And I always say, oh my God, and spell it like that to be all inclusive, right? And then I'm Gen X Lexi on YouTube. I also have a playlist that is all completely Yellowjackets. You can find Antler Queens on there, all that good stuff too.
Awesome. So before we get into the actual recap and talking about the show, just wanted to go over a few things. Some of you know this already, but I am currently raising money for a surgery that I've been needing for over a year. I will bring up my little flyer here with the URL on it so you can see it. Basically, I took a nasty fall last March and broke one of the leads in the stimulator in my back. And the stimulator had been so hugely successful at controlling my CRPS symptoms. CRPS stands for complex regional pain syndrome, which I developed from nerve damage after an improperly fitted cast. And in the year that my stimulator's been broken, I've just been in pain 24/7. Episodes are getting harder to do, as is everything else. I've also been experiencing a good deal of mental health issues lately as a result of some really terrifying, just nonstop harassment that's been targeted toward me since December. And as you can probably imagine, I just really kind of haven't felt very safe in a while. I do actually have an amazing therapist, but I can't see her due to not being able to afford my deductible. So once I reach my goal of $5,000, which is the amount of my deductible, I'll be able to get my surgery, see my therapist, and hopefully start feeling somewhat functional again. So the fundraiser link for that is spot.fund/Kelly Needs Surgery. And I want to thank you all so much to everybody who's donated and shared. It really means so much to me. I mean, this surgery would definitely change my life. I mean, the stimulator changed my life. So my life is, pre-stimulator was not very good. And that's where I'm back at right now.
Yeah. Do that. Give what you can. Every little bit.
Yeah. And as an incentive, if I reach my goal and get to have surgery, I'm going to do a thank you video immediately after my surgery, which you guys will love because I am a delusional effing nut job after surgery. I think I'm wearing fish on my feet. I'm pregnant with Orlando Bloom's vampire baby. These all really happened, by the way. This is all like real stories from real post-surgery stories of things that I thought was happening.
What was in your pocket that one time too?
Donuts.
Yes, pocket donuts.
Yeah, pocket donuts. I thought I was my husband and I were sitting on the couch watching a movie, and I was fully awake, and I started going like this and acting like I was eating something. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I wasn't wearing anything with pockets. And I thought that I was wearing something with, like, big front pockets, and I was pulling out miniature powdered donuts and eating them. Seriously, anesthesia, and I also have to get scopolamine patches behind my ear when I have surgery because I get so sick from the
Oh,
anesthesia, and so that fucks up my brain a little bit too, so I am hilariously out of it. I'm a hoot.
yes, please record all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I will. It'll be the greatest thank you gift ever. And I'm really thankful to everybody who's donated. I'm gonna do like a special thank you video and image for you soon and just thank you all so much.
That's awesome.
As for everything else, if you are watching this, please be sure to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you'll know when I go live, which I'm starting to do a lot more now. I'm actually super close to monetization right now, so that could be another way for me to help pay for my surgery.
Definitely.
So every subscription right now is a huge deal to me. It just puts me that much closer. If you are listening to this instead of watching it, please take a moment and rate my podcast if you're listening to it on an app that allows you to do so. And share my content. That helps too. I appreciate any way you support the channel. It does not ever go unappreciated for one moment. Also, you can keep up with the show on social media at facebook.com/the Antler Queens and Instagram and Twitter at the Antler Queens. And with that boring stuff all out of the way, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So this was a pretty awesome and fun episode.
Oh yeah.
We had a voiceover from Sophie Thatcher this week. And I'm always excited to hear who does the voiceover because that's a clue that they're gonna have a good story that week or big story or whatever. I can't wait until Lauren Ambrose does one. I bet you it'll be the next one. I bet you the next
because
episode.
they just gave us the teaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. That was
Yes.
amazing. Yes.
Definitely. So we actually pick up right where we left off with Van and Ty. They're still outside by the tree that Fugue Ty had led her to, and Van's trying to get her to talk to Lottie because she thinks Ty has some type of supernatural or spiritual gift, and Ty is just not having it.
No. None of her effing business.
I know. Did you cringe a little bit at this scene? I kind of did because I was like, Van, I love you, but don't push, please.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think, and I was really proud of Van for kind of standing up for herself while she was presenting this to Thaisa, because Thaisa has shot her down about it so many times before. And the fact that she had the maps and everything, I felt exactly like Van in that instance where she's like, how can you not see this? I'm following you every night. I have literally marked this down. The whole thing forms a giant ass symbol. How can you ignore this now? And she still does.
Yeah.
She still says, no, there's coincidence, what have you. And again, I'm waiting for that riff where there's like a split in the groups where you have like the followers of Lottie and then you have like Thaisa and Natalie. on the non-believers. And speaking of Natalie, how much trouble is she in? Like, how bad is that going to F her up with Travis? Now she, faked the death and the pants.
Yeah.
That was kind of ridiculous. And I understand her reasoning. I understand. I get it. But going along with Travis's character as he's shown us, his bravado this entire time, he's going to hate her.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's gonna get ugly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we'll get to all of that. We'll get to the whole pantsgate.
Yes.
Yeah, but the next thing that we saw was a little shocking. We see Fugue Tie in Jessica's apartment in New York City. Pretty crazy. Like I just and she's going through the filing cabinets. Like how the hell does she do these things in her in this fugue state? It just blows my mind. And then she comes to
on Van.
And she comes to and she finds that she's driven her campaign manager's car until it ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but and you guys said something about this and touched on it live. But like Uber, did her phone die? She's just that out of her mind in 2021 or 2, what it's supposed to be when they're recording. What she's just like, oh, I think I'll hitchhike with this trucker.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have ended really badly, even in broad daylight. You know what I mean? But
I know.
She's just, even as non-altered Thaisa, she's just making very bad decisions at the moment.
Especially in this episode, considering that she left the Yellowjackets folder in the car.
Oh my God, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I don't know what's in there. Maybe it's just contact info, but like if there's
but that's how she found Van. It had like a list of literally what everyone's doing. And yeah. So
I mean, I don't think there's anything incriminating in there, probably because Jessica hadn't found anything yet. That's the whole thing. I mean, Thaisa had hired her to see if she could get anybody to talk because she was worried that they might. And as far as she knows, Jessica hasn't gotten anything out of anybody. So I can't see there being anything incriminating in there, but still it's a little.
But she doesn't know she's dead.
Oh, I know.
And she's the one, I forgot she's the one that hired her too. And Misty doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's nuts.
Tension.
But we got an interesting version of the theme song this week.
We did. And I loved it. Like 24-year-old me. Oh my God. I bled that album. That was so good when it came out, I think in 95.
I think so, yeah.
So I automatically had a thought like, you watch Weeds back in the day? So they did something real quick. Every season they had a different musician cover the theme song and do it in a different style. And I thought, awesome. Oh, Alana's covering the theme song. Okay, who's next? You know what I mean? Like, give me some like Luscious Jackson, or even Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder would do it. He was huge.
Yeah.
96 and all that. And that's my first thought. I thought that was incredible. I even wrote her name down because I forget names. Jen Malone, the main music supervisor.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
super good.
Everything. And the fact that it was the mall music in that scene, in whatever, and made it all creepy and crazy. And that was just, I have to watch it the first time. I have to watch it by myself because I don't want anyone taking over anything. And I want to be like, and fangirling out about it. And then the second time I watch it, we all watch it together,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, I would love to hear, I personally would love to hear I would love to hear what it would sound like having Nick Cave do the theme song.
That would be a good one too.
Like I could see him just kind of like speaking through it. But like I mean it would be super cool though.
Or what about Trent Reznor?
That would be cool.
Like all sick and creepy.
Or maybe like Kristen Hirsch. Throwing muses.
Oh yeah. Or Garbage. Have we heard Garbage yet?
Yeah. That would be cool. We did hear, did we hear one? I feel like we heard Number One Crush. I feel like there was another Garbage song in the show, but I don't remember. I don't know.
That's
I think I could.
Like before the second season came out, I had to unfollow a couple groups and stuff on Facebook because they were saying, you know, oh, this song's going to be in the next episode and this song, and like, I don't want to know. Yeah. I want it to be like in the first season where you have no idea. And then all of a sudden the plane is crashing and coming down the mountain and there's Jane's Addiction. Like I want that experience of, oh my God, how perfect. And you know, I don't know.
No, you know, when poor Steve inevitably dies, I think they should play the theme song over that, but like a really sad version with Sarah McLachlan singing it.
That'll make it sad.
No, I hope Steve makes it.
I know that was kind of, that was rough.
Oh my gosh. So we then go to the Sadeki house, and Jeff's not having a good day. He's like, so the towing company just found the van on the side of the road.
Sure it did.
Yeah, and then Callie comes. What's up?
Do you think deep down he's like, she went and got it?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, I think he's starting to piece it together. I mean, he's handled, you know, the affair. You know, he was even talking about, oh, I'm trying to handle it well, you know, but there was also, it wasn't just an affair. It was like covering up a murder, and they're handling it very well as a family, except let's talk about their teenage daughter for a minute.
Oh my God. She was so over it. It's so funny. She comes in the kitchen and he's like, good morning, honey. And she's like, I'm going to Alana's, and just blacks out.
Yeah. And for Shauna, like, I understand her reasoning in telling Callie everything and thinking that she's being proactive. But when you're a teenage girl, every conversation that you have with anyone, or at least 75%, we'll say, starts with, I'm not supposed to tell anyone, but.
Yeah.
So, and then the first thing she does is go out and you think that telling a problem to a stranger is great, which a lot of times it is, because they don't know who you're talking about. You can talk as much shit as you want, but that was probably the worst thing she could have ever done.
I know. That happens a little bit later in the episode.
Okay, but let's back me up a little bit.
But you know, like, just to touch on your point though, really quick. When I was a teenager, I always, if I had something that was weighing on my mind that was bothering me, I never talked to my parents about it. No. I talked to one of my friends about it. Like, and I always talked it out with somebody, and it was always a friend of mine. It was never a family member.
Same.
So it's, yeah.
I tried to talk to my parents as little as humanly possible.
Yeah.
For, most of my teenage years. So that's not a conversation that would happen. But then, like, do you call the cops on your parents? I mean, I wouldn't, but you know what? Now she's just going to blackmail her parents. Now that she knows her dad's a blackmailer too. I mean, this is, I don't know of anyone in more need of family therapy.
I know. Oh my God.
And the Sadekis.
Well, Shauna mentioned she's going to head over to Kohl's, where she'll have an interesting meetup later. But apparently we learned that Jeff prefers odor resistant crew socks.
He's just, I love how during everything that's going on, Jeff is just your consistent, regular, everyday schmuck. And when he was in the car on, that's episode 3, we're not talking about that. But I mean, even they go so far as to even let you know what his taste in music is and what kind of stocks and this. And like, I'm just waiting for him to just explode or implode or God knows what.
Let me tell you, did you watch The Wilds?
Yes, on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of sad it wasn't going to come back for another season. It ended on a crappy note.
Yeah. Well, and Jeff was Warren Cole, who plays Jeff, was in that as well. He wasn't not as likable. He was not very likable at all, actually.
No.
But he played the father of one of the girls that was in a plane crash. But what I was going to say is when the Wild, my point about the Wilds actually doesn't even have anything to do with him. I loved season 1 of the Wilds. Then they brought the boys in, and I wasn't digging it.
It was neat to know that there was a whole other island that was, you know, experimental and this and that. But then when they like meet, it kind of died off. But then Amazon probably just threw in the towel because everybody kept saying it was kind of like Yellowjackets, and it's unfortunate that it was released around the same time, because if they were in competition, I mean, there is no competition. Oh, yeah,
I know.
I commented something on, this is so stupid and fangirly and whatever, but I commented something about the show on Showtime, like a Showtime post or something, and I said, man, this show just keeps getting better and better. And I got a notification that said Juliette Lewis liked my comment, and I had a freaking heart attack.
That's awesome. I love it.
A screenshot for a rainy day.
I love it. But yeah, so like, you know, the Wilds introduced the boys and it kind of went downhill. So now they give us Yellowjackets, which has very few male characters. It's mostly women. And somehow they've gotten me to absolutely love the shit out of this white heterosexual male. And he's like one of my favorite characters. So bravo for Yellowjackets for making that happen, because I don't know that any other show could do that.
And I even like Randy. Like when I keep wanting to call him Frodo. I'm sorry, Elijah. I apologize. When Elijah Wood was interrogating him, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, but it's funny because on one hand I was like, don't hit Randy. He's, you know, he's a putz. But seriously, I was watching I can't even remember what it was, but it was an episode of something, and people got in an argument, and I'm on the couch going, hit him. It's just, now I want everyone to hit everyone, make it more exciting.
Oh my God. When I used to watch Walking Dead, like if it was warm outside, like my husband started closing the windows because there were a few too many nights when we'd be watching The Walking Dead and it was nice out. So we'd have the windows open and I'd be screaming, kill him, kill him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But so then we go to Lottie's compound, and Nat tells Lottie that she needs the keys because she wants to help Lisa sell honey at the farmer's market booth.
Right.
And I love it. Lottie was like, you don't strike me as someone with enthusiastic honey selling skills.
Yeah. Lies. She could see right through that.
I love it. And, you know, Nat tells her that she thought it would be a good idea for them to bond since she forgave her and everything. But I thought this was really sweet. Lottie told Natalie to let her drive because she never gets to and she needs the practice. I thought that was really sweet. Because the more that we're learning about Lisa, you know, she seems to like not really have fleshed out her own identity totally yet.
No,
you know,
not at all. It was also kind of funny that she said it because in season 1, no matter whose car they were taking anywhere, Natalie always grabs the keys. I'm driving. She drives Ty's van. She drives Misty's car. So Lottie probably is familiar with that and was like, you ain't driving.
Yeah, good point. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that's good that she let her.
Yeah.
And so then we catch up with Misty and Walter.
What
who
a
are also taking a
montage.
trip. Well, the montage is a little bit later, but right now they're driving, and I love that Misty, she's trying to get hold of Ty, and I love that she's like automatically jumping to the accusation that that she and Shauna have been kidnapped.
Oh, absolutely. Why would, if you don't hear from those people, right? And everything that's going on. Yeah. And I love Misty. It's just so dramatic.
And he just so happens to have a huge collection of show tunes.
It does seem very suspicious. Now, I think, and I made a comment on the live feed, I was like, it was kind of obvious when we first saw their interaction and they know each other's names. I was like, they are absolutely each other's soulmate, and she's going to have to kill him.
Well, I have a brand new Walter theory.
Spill the
and
tea.
I'm going to I will share it as soon as it's a more appropriate moment, because
Okay.
I want to see if you catch on to it at all first.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. Oh, yeah, he also said, like, she accuses him of being a Yellowjackets fanboy, and he was like, I told you I sought you out because I wanted to work with the brilliant investigative mind that's Agent African Gray, and because you dropped a Sweeney Todd reference in one of your posts, Sweeney Todd, which is basically like about cannibalism.
Yeah, he's a murdering barber.
Yeah, he murders victims and then sends their bodies down to Mrs. Lovett's pie shop downstairs, where she makes pies out of them.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah. But she ends up
okay.
What's that?
I was gonna say, if he's running game on Misty, like, he's the best con man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah. But she eventually settles on the Evita soundtrack, and they start playing Rainbow Tour, which transitions into the past timeline, and she and Crystal are singing Rainbow Tour together. And Crystal has on a Music Man shirt, which I thought was funny. I'm like, does this girl just only own musical theater shirts? I'm wondering. It's hilarious.
That's
you know what? She was probably in Music Man in high school, and like, because I was in the drama club in high school, and like we always got T-shirts for every play and musical that we did. So it was like,
we never did at my school, cheap ass school. Okay, and I'm not going to mention or anything or say years, but I might have been a pick a little talk, or what is it? Pick a little talk a little ladies in the library. Let's see. I'm not going to sing it. Yeah.
Oh, so okay. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm trying to flash back. Yeah. I totally, God, I haven't seen that musical since I was a kid. So I'm like, I'm flashing back to me.
Yeah, I'm generally not a huge musical fan, but I love that they have that in common. And then now she has that, and she's so suspicious. And then we saw her last season go through all these crazy, shitty, bad, you know what I mean? She's talking about her bad dates and all that. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she's suspicious for good reason. We'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so the girls are eating starling soup, which is great. You know, they're eating the birds that flew into the cabin. And Coach Ben is looking a little better, probably because he's gotten some soup. He's gotten some food in him. But Shauna comes in and says that someone had been seeking extra portions of the bear meat. Who do you
Yeah,
think it was?
I don't know who would do that. I mean, maybe I kind of feel like how the writers have been in season 2. Have we even met this character? Have we met all the characters yet? Because
Yeah, I don't
this
know.
was new. I think there was a couple new ones. They don't really speak. I don't know. You know who I think it is that stole the
Who?
extra meat? I think it's Thais's altar.
Okay. That could be.
And that could
Um,
be also why no one's copying to it.
okay, I'm sorry. When you said Thais's altar in the beginning in the mirror, I thought you were referring to the other type of altar. Like the
Oh,
one that
not
she
like
made with
sign
Biscuit's head.
altar. No,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like a
yeah.
sign
That's why I was
altar.
like, "What?" I'm like, When did we see that this episode?" No, you were talking about yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I totally
ER.
misunderstood you.
Like ER versus AR. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I get it. But her alter, like her second personality, Thaisa
Yeah.
too. Or
Yeah.
let's hope that's the only one, by the way.
Oh
But
god, yeah.
if no one's copying to it and nobody really, really knows how to figure out who did it, and Hopalong Cassidy, coach, and he got all nasty about it.
Yeah.
If nobody knows, just like Thaisa didn't realize that she was walking to the edge of the cliff, and she doesn't realize this, she doesn't realize that. Maybe she doesn't realize that she's got the midnight munchies and she's stealing food when she's out and about in the middle of the night. Probably bear meat tastes better than dirt, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably. Well,
Let's
if she was outside eating stuff, she'd be eating snow at this point. But which is
valid.
good, it's hydrating.
Yeah, right. Don't eat yellow snow. That's a good
Yeah.
option.
But yeah, Mari like gets really kind of mean girlish. And she's like, there's probably Ben because he thinks he's so much better than us. And
That's your teacher.
Yeah. I mean, she's just being like, but then she gets like super accusatory with Natalie, who is just like oh my god, she reminded me so much of somebody I know, and you know who she reminds me of.
Oh, I do.
But yeah, she reminded me so much of that person in this episode. And
sadly, some mean girls are mean girls for life, not just in high school.
yeah,
And it's shocking but true. You know who
yeah.
you are. And so Mari is, I don't know, and that how mean she's being also makes me feel like maybe she's gonna last one of the longest, because Jackie was the first to go, and Laura Lee, and they were both, I mean, you know how I feel about Jackie, but as far as good and pure, sort of, you know what I mean? They're gone.
Yeah.
Coach Ben, ticking clock.
Oh yeah.
So if everyone's left to survive, that's like a bunch of mean girls and a bunch of followers. That's when I see some real splitting, and we'll find out, because there is such tremendous underlying tension from adult Lottie and adult Natalie that we know that it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, for sure.
And really divide. And I feel like Travis, I feel like the boys are gonna go with Lottie. Who's gonna go with Natalie? At this point, it's not going to be the mean girl. Is Natalie? Maybe Natalie will go off with with Javi. Who knows? Like I'm kind of like fearing for Natalie a little bit. But the tension that they pull off, and Lottie's having visions again, and since everyone is kind of in close quarters, I really want to see what happens.
Yeah, same. And I think Lottie's going to be the one to kind of initiate. I think that Lottie's going to be the reason that they end up initiating like this hunting ritual, like hunting each other down.
You think that's what's going to happen? It's going to be, yeah.
Oh, I don't know how it's going to come about, but I think that's, yeah, I see it going there. I see it going that way.
I could see that too.
Yeah. I want to give props to Nicole Maines in this next scene, because one thing I forgot to mention about Misty and Walter when they were driving, and Jade actually pointed this out when we were watching it together on
I love Jade.
Thursday night. Hey, Jade. So he was doing that annoying thing that characters sometimes do when they're driving.
Right? Like, yeah, I'm pretending to drive. Nobody drives like that.
and Nicole Maines did not do that. So props to her.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, she's telling Natalie that she just needed a break from the compound, and they're allowed to leave whenever they want. Now, there was some actually interesting dialogue here. She says they can leave whenever they want, but Lottie keeps her so busy that she doesn't get to leave very often. And Natalie's like, almost like she wants to give the illusion of freedom, so you'll always come back. It's like
Waco almost. Without
yeah.
all the
Yeah, like I'm trying to come up. Oh, you know what? Here's a good example. I had a friend when I was a kid whose mother was like super codependent and clingy and overly protective, and basically just didn't want her kid having any kind of life whatsoever. And she would never put rules on her, but she would be like, if she wanted to go somewhere, she'd be like, but I need your help with this, and she'd like kind of guilt trip her about it. She'd be like, I really need you to do. And so she couldn't go out half the time because her mom was always finding stuff to guilt trip her about doing. So it was, yeah. But so I liked that. That was an interesting line from Nat. But okay. What's even more interesting to me is, she mentions there are no rules at the compound, and that everybody's wearing the handmade purple clothes because some people at the compound come from a lot of money while others don't.
Yes.
And Charlotte wanted everyone to be equal. That's going to play into something that I'm thinking about that's going to come up later.
Okay.
But just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But
I think it's easy to call her Charlotte.
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm like, yeah, I can't. She's just Lottie. She's always going to be Lottie to me. So then we flash to the present where she's in her therapist's office. So what did you think of this scene?
Okay, I even took notes about this scene because dun 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 dun. Oh, so going back, are we at the mall part, or we're still before the mall part?
No, we're still before the mall part.
Okay, then I have a Lottie thing about that. But when she goes there and says she wants to up her meds because she's starting to have visions again, and it hasn't happened in years, that is horrifying. She's going to the doctor. She would rather be drugged than go through whatever happened and whatever she became, because remember, she obviously didn't have meds for 19 months.
Yeah,
we're going to find out a little bit more about that. And I felt it was the first time ever that I kind of felt sorry for her, because she would rather just take drugs to make it go away, like Drop Dead Fred. And it really made me feel for her, that she knew, it's almost like she knows how powerful she is or can be, and how it's going to affect everyone's lives. And for some reason, like how Pennywise and It came back every 27 years, they have brought this back with them. And that's why she's having the visions again. Yeah. So, but she doesn't want it. I don't think she ever wanted it. She used it because she needed to use it when they were in the wilderness. But yeah, she's good with that. But what was that about in that same scene where she goes over and she cuts her hand again in a separate part of the compound. She's like,
oh yeah, at the very end, and she was like,
oh,
"Please let this be enough."
Okay,
Yeah. A lot of people were suspecting that the therapist was like not there, was not real. Which, and here's what I have to say about it. Like, they were saying that because a lot of people thought that that what she said to her was a little suspect. She said, before we talk about your dosage, I would urge you to reframe the way you're thinking about these visions. The stress of constantly pushing them away could potentially cause more to surface. So maybe ask yourself, what do you think they're trying to tell you? A lot of people thought that was really suspect and just horrible. But here's what, like, I've had depression for most of my life, and I've had night terrors for most of my life. And my therapist, like, anytime my night terrors come back, she, like, she understands I want them to stop, but she always, like, wants me to talk about them because she's like, what do you think? Why do you think this is happening? I think it might have been worded. I think it might have been worded poorly in the script, and that's why people misinterpreted it. But I don't think that the therapist was necessarily telling her to embrace the visions, but just trying to understand something from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I have this recurring dream where it's not a nightmare, but I have a recurring dream. It's always different a little bit every time, but I'm back in high school as an adult and I can't find my locker. And that's always the scenario. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and like she actually helped me understand like what that could be telling me.
Yeah.
And so it was really helpful. It was tremendously, like, interpreting that was so tremendously helpful for me. So I don't think her advice is bad. I don't think she's saying embrace these visions. I think she's basically just trying to get at, like, why do you think this is happening? And, what are your fears? What are your, what's going on in your mind that you're stressed about that could be causing this to happen? And I just
also be one of those 1 in 1,000 doctors that is hesitant to give you more drugs.
Yeah.
That rarely happens. But, maybe they would just like her to work through it. Or maybe they borrowed a little bit of the script from United States of Terror.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. One of her alters is a therapist.
Okay.
And it's Toni Collette, and oh my God, and she is amazing. But yeah, there's one season where she's having therapy and on a couch, and the glasses, and her hair's different and everything. But she is one of her other personalities is her therapist.
Gotcha.
But I didn't think they would do that with Lottie because we already have the alters from Thaisa. So I didn't expect that with Lottie. But I don't want to have visions where my beef arm is bleeding either.
I know.
Nice subliminal Yellowjackets play there.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Dead Yellowjackets.
The only thing that was when we'll get to the other young Lottie later on in the visions and the outfits and stuff. But adult Lottie, yeah. So I was thinking that she wanted that. She wanted that power. She wanted that kind of control and, over everyone's lives as an adult and a cult leader and all of that. So I would think that she would want that, maybe use her powers for good, but obviously it has something to do with where they were.
Yeah, I could see that. The other thing that really hit me about this scene in the therapist's office, Lottie said that she needed the visions to stop because last time they were something else.
Like
and
predictions?
her visions, like they
Yeah.
became something else. And that's what made me think differently about what happened with Travis. It made me think, oh, okay, she probably did accidentally kill him because she saw Laura Lee and it like totally took her out.
Yeah. But
And
she's not going to tell anybody that.
right, right, exactly. Um, so yeah, I like, because before I was like, I wasn't really trusting that what she was telling Natalie about Travis's death was true. But I thought it was more sinister. I thought like maybe she really did kill him. But now I'm thinking, after she said that, now I'm thinking like I think she probably did, but I think it might have been just an accident,
Right.
like she said. Um,
Because Travis was right, and knocking himself out like that did bring whatever, and it knew exactly what it was doing by distracting Lottie.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like it's she got the vision instead of him, you know? So
But
yeah,
there's that weird tension triangle between Lottie and Travis and Natalie. So of course she's not gonna. I feel like they all keep secrets because they want to have one up on the other one. Or
yeah, I
I
know, it's
don't
kind of
know.
crazy.
Yeah, I want to see more of that, or maybe they'll flash back to that scene again, and we'll see even more. I don't know that that was enough, and I definitely don't think Natalie is satisfied with that.
Yeah, I agree. Um, but so then we go back to the past, and Misty's going over the hunt, the rules of the hunt, and she they're supposed to, if they find something, they're supposed to kill it, but they leave it there, and then they can retrieve others to help them. And she says that they can draw cards for the gun. So there's another reference to drawing cards.
Yeah,
Um, but and it kind of cuts back and forth between all that. But then we go to the present, and Shauna runs into Alana's mom. And
busted.
yep, busted. She finds out that Callie has not been sleeping at Alana's. So
Mm-mm.
she's been sleeping somewhere else, which is really fucking disturbing. Um,
It
yeah.
is. I'm so glad I don't have kids.
Is she having sex with this cop? Like, I mean, that's kind of because my whole thinking is that they're going to end up getting off because of his behavior.
Well, I thought she was sleeping at the boyfriend's house. What was his name?
Kyle, well, they broke up.
Right. But they showed that the last scene where they break up, she breaks up with him in the bedroom. So they're in the bed, and the mom wants to know if they want pancakes or some shit. And I feel like she had been sleeping at the boyfriend's a lot and then broke up with the boyfriend. I don't think she's having sex with the cop yet.
God,
Yet.
I hope not. I
But
hope not.
I feel like that's going to be here. Okay, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Um, if I were the writers, um, yeah, because remember in the it's like a prequel to what's coming next, when Callie's like, "Oh, I have something I have to tell you guys." Eek. And right, and that
Yes.
she's gonna spill to the happy family and say, "Look, I've been, I met this guy. I kind of spilled the beans. He was having similar problem. Blah, blah, blah. Now, Shauna is obviously not going to know he's a cop who bought her underage daughter alcoholic beverages, by the way. So
Mhm.
inadmissible. Um, but that is going to start some serious shit. And she knows Kevin's a cop, but we've never seen this guy,
Yeah.
and neither has she. And I feel like Shauna really likes. I feel Shauna's a serial killer, like one
Really?
that you root for, in kind of a Dexter way, but
Yeah.
not really. Um, but I feel like, yeah, she might just have one of those moments where she lapses back into 1996 and stabs Adam. And I feel like this cop guy is, very expendable as a troublemaking, like protagonistic character.
Yeah. Well, something's going to happen. I mean, his either he's going to lose his life or his life's going to get really fucked up. Because he's like, what he's doing. I mean, he's talk about he could not possibly be screwing up the investigation in the most fucked up way possible. Like,
right? Because you're sleeping with what's going to end up being a star witness. That could happen too. And then Callie would have to lie.
Yeah, and then he gets outed as a child sex predator, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, unless she's 18, but
I don't know. I thought she was 16 when the show started and 17 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still November, so she's probably 17. Which, so I mean, but yeah, like if he's, I mean, he shouldn't be doing any of the stuff that he's doing with her, but regardless of her age. But it's especially worse because of her age, and if he's having sex with her, I mean, his life is over.
Yeah. Even if it's 17, and I don't know what the age is in 17. In New Jersey.
That's a good point, because not all states, it's not 18 in all states.
No,
I'm going to actually look this up right now because I think people tuning in might actually be curious about this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In New Jersey, the age of consent is 16. But
he's still a cop.
He's still a cop, but I think, but there's usually when there's an age of consent that's less than 18, there's usually some type of like rules about age differences. Like,
yes,
like it's legal if they're like 20 or 21, but it's not legal if they're like 40, something like that. There's usually, I mean, I don't have the time to go into to look up all that stuff, but yeah, but the age of consent in New Jersey is 16.
There's still so many things wrong with that. And
yeah.
Was he not even on the investigation, or is he? And like Kevin told him not to go. He was just supposed to be eavesdropping, and then she comes and hits on him. And it's all bad. It's all bad.
For sure.
Mommy Shauna is gonna have to take that guy out. And then they're gonna have to kill the cop and bury that. And we'll see what happens.
But I mean, or they could just blackmail him. I mean, he might not get like sex predator charges since, if she's at least 16, she's of age, but in New Jersey, but he's still like, I mean, he really fucked up if he's sleeping with her, or just a little bit that he's done with her so far, just getting together with her and drinking. Like, I mean, he's fucked up. He will lose his job.
What's that? No, you're a police officer. You can't buy an underage girl a drink in a bar.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's so many.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. But and she's, we see her actually, like, the next scene is we see her walking down the street texting him, and they're making plans to hook up. And Shauna pulls aside, and
let's go for a ride, honey.
I couldn't help but think, do you know what I thought? Do you know what I thought of when I saw this scene?
What?
When, what's his name? Steve Van Zandt's character in The Sopranos picked up Adriana.
And you just know it's all bad. I loved Adriana.
I'm like, oh no, she's gonna get Adriana by her own mother. Like that's what I didn't actually think that was gonna happen, but that's what I immediately thought of. That's where my mind went to when that happened.
And typical Callie, she's supposed to be, Shauna's trying to be a mom and like reprimand her daughter. And Callie's like, nah, let's talk about you and your fucked up shit. And just literally thinks that she can get away with anything now. And Shauna's not making it any better. And then by trying to make herself look better, she was like, no, your dad is a piece of shit too. And what? Why would you do that? She just threw Jeff under the bus.
Oh my God. Oh God.
So now
Okay.
Natalie is walking around like a ticking time bomb. And I feel like everything that we have seen as the viewer and everything that Callie knows, he's going to know. Yeah. And she's going to have to handle it. Or Jeff. Yeah. Maybe Jeff will kill him.
Maybe.
And that's
I
when
can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can totally see that happening. So I have a lot of thoughts on the next scene, which is Misty and Walter in the restaurant. What did you think of this scene?
What's your deal? That was awesome because and if you watch this show and love this show like we do, you know how important that was to see the date in the first season. I think it's even in the first episode, and how different her interaction is with Walter, because he does seem genuinely interested in her to the point of like almost stalkery. But that's Misty's good quality about that too. And I feel like she really, really wants to let herself be swept off her feet. And she's just had too many bad things and so much trauma and all these bad dates that she's like, kind of like, come here, but no. You know what I mean? And he's trying so hard. Oh, Walter. And he wanted the room, and he's right. He's like, one room or one bed. And she's like, two. And she's so suspicious and gonna take it if she is attracted to him, which I think she is. And and I don't know how that's gonna go, because he runs a good game. And I read that he might be only on for one season.
Okay.
So I feel like they're gonna make it good. And I told you, I love my theory that he solves everything and he's completely right about the murder, and they're soulmates, and he is so in love with her, and she's going to have to kill him.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you think it was interesting at all that, so he's like, she wants to ask the waitress if she knew where the cult was. And he's trying to talk her out of it. And she's like, where's the, and then she does it anyway. She's like, where's the purple people cult? And she's like, do you know anything about them? And he did you think it was weird that he didn't, like, that he was trying to talk her out of asking about them?
A little bit, because why wouldn't you ask and find out everything you could? But it could also just be, he is not nearly as involved in all of this as Misty, and he could just be wanting to slow down and just have like the whole B&B and this nice romantic night with Misty, and she could be like his dream girl, you know what I mean? And he, you know, I don't know if it's innocent. It really could be, but even if it is innocent, I don't think that she's gonna think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, somebody's gonna react poorly to something.
Well, we learn in this scene that he's a multimillionaire because he won a $6 million settlement from he was walking under some scaffolding and got hit with a bunch of bricks, and they don't know how he survived.
No, I love that.
Yeah. And I love that he's like, oh yeah, the whole thing's on YouTube, and he tries to pull up the video.
I don't want to see that, dude. That's like Faces of Death.
I know, right? But yeah, so he's that's why he doesn't have a job and he has all this free time, because he's a millionaire. But the waitress tells them that they sell their honey every Tuesday at this farmer's market.
And they're horrible
And
tippers.
yes, and they're horrible tippers.
I've
So
worked at a restaurant, so I remember that part.
yeah. And she says that it's they sell their honey at the farmer's market every Tuesday, which Misty and Walter comment that's today. So I think most high school reunions tend to be on Sundays. They're either Saturdays or Sundays, I think.
I never went
So it's either been, so that gives us an idea of the timeline. So it's been either 2 or 3 days since the reunion.
Okay, in adult time.
Yeah.
And then kids, it's 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I thought that was helpful because it kind of gave us an idea.
And was that a coincidence? Like, oh, happy day. We just happened to be here on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly.
You know, I don't know.
Well, it's that's kind of playing into some stuff that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
But so they decide to go off and go find the purple people. And then we get to the truck driver scene, which I love this. I absolutely loved everything about the hitchhiking scene.
It's really great. I think I used to have one of those pens.
Did you?
My dad's. We used to, I was like 9 years old. Like, oh, look, boobies when you turn it. I was like, what a crazy, cool retro thing to have just randomly in there. But that whole thing was very strange. And who's that guy? Was he following her? Was he just a trucker? Did he mean all that? I mean, they have me all suspicious too now.
Same.
You never know.
Same. And he just he voted for her. So he's in her district or whatever, and he's one of her constituents, and he happened to be out there, like wherever she was, like halfway to Ohio or whatever. Very strange.
That was very strange. All of it.
And I have some theories on that as well. And I promise I'm getting to all of this. I promise. It's all tying together. So he's like the truck driver seems cool and he's willing to give her a lift. And she says she's headed out west and she's looking at her phone and we see that she's going to Ohio where Van's store is located. But so then we go back to the past and Mari is hearing the dripping again. What do you think that's about?
I don't know.
I think it's foreshadowing of her being Pit Girl. Do
you really? How? Explain.
I think it's her blood dripping in the snow.
Whose?
Mari's. I think they're like, because a lot of them are kind of having their own sorts of visions about, like in their own, they're all kind of different, but it's,
she's mean girl in like a cruel kind of way. So
yeah.
I can totally see that. And it starts to get like a little Lord of the Flies for a minute. If Mari's in charge, oh God, then I hope they kill and eat Mari. And then
I really think like the dripping that she's hearing is kind of like an auditory vision of her future as Pit Girl, and that's her blood dripping in the snow.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I'll buy that.
But
I like that.
No, Akila's sitting there reading an SAT book, which I thought was really sweet. Like she's still so optimistic that they're going to be rescued and make it out of there. But
it's been 3 months at that time. They've been there 3-4 months.
Oh, it's been longer than that because they crashed in like May.
Yeah.
And it's probably like January, I think, at that point.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been several months at that point. And Mari wants Akila to help her look for the dripping. And that's where we see our new little mouse friend. And Akila's so cute. Like she's so happy.
She doesn't want anyone to eat them. She wants to be her pet.
I know. And she it broke my heart because her little face, like she was just so happy to find this cute little mouse, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna end well.
Yeah, no, someone's gonna kill that mouse and eat it. It's gonna be part of the
Yeah,
stew.
probably. Oh, it was so cute though. It was such a cute scene. But Lottie, we see Lottie and Natalie kind of out on their hunt, and Lottie comes across the tree altar, and I'm really sorry, like the late afternoon, early evening sun is kind of coming through my blackout curtains somehow and making my light all funky. But Lottie finds the tree altar and makes a blood sacrifice. And then we see Natalie finds that frozen moose in the lake.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a vision, which is what a lot of people thought. Like she really did see that moose, and it must have just, walked across the lake and fell through the ice, and then it froze over again.
Oh, that was so sad when the moose gets away.
Oh God, it was awful. So the next scene is Natalie and Lisa arriving at Lisa's family's house. I love this scene so much. Natalie's got a great line here. She's like, "This is a shitty farmer's market." And Lisa said it's her mom's house and she wants to see her fish the 14th gilly.
What I hope somebody, if anyone's watching this and they have a band and they don't have a name for their band, I hope they take that. The 14th gilly.
Yes.
Ladies
totally.
and gentlemen, the 14th gilly. And then only us, yellow jacket heads will, know what it means. That's a great
Or the 15th gilly.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be funny.
That was so great. I enjoyed that scene, and I had so much empathy for Natalie because she sees her own mom in Lisa's mom, and she's finally like, what the fuck? This isn't helping. You're her mom, and speaks out. And then she doesn't want her to, you're not helping. But like, she didn't really want to say that to Lisa's mom. She wanted to say that to her own mom,
Yeah. I had a lot of feelings about this scene. It's I felt like Nat was kind of trying to parent young Nat in the way that she wasn't parented. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
Like, yeah, she was trying to look out for her inner child. Like she was trying to fix what was broken. She saw how Lisa and her mom were interacting,
yes.
and it reminded her so much of like what she wishes she could fix in her own childhood.
It's like they tell you in therapy or books you read or whatever, you have to strive to be the person that you needed when you were younger. That's
exactly
how I survived my 30s and 40s.
Yeah, there's a great therapist on YouTube that I watch. I love his videos. He does a bunch of videos on childhood trauma and CPTSD, and I'm forgetting his name at the moment. It's Patrick. You know what? I'm gonna look this up really quick because his videos, if you have like a history of childhood trauma or CPTSD, his videos are amazing. I mean, I've gotten so much insight from them. What is his name? Patrick. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. It's Tahan.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to spell his first name. His first name's Patrick. His last name's Teahan. I highly recommend looking him up on YouTube. His videos are amazing. I'm going to put that, as I'm talking, I'm going to make a little banner here so people can look him up because he's so great.
Very cool.
Patrick. Okay. So that's yeah, that's his name right there.
Very cool.
But yeah, he does a lot of great videos on childhood trauma.
Childhood
But
is trauma.
yeah,
Like,
right,
you know,
exactly.
four people that are
Yeah.
like, oh, my childhood was great and this and that, and my parents were perfect and they're still married. Like, people don't know those people anymore.
I
But
know.
yeah, childhood is trauma. Gives you backbone, I guess.
Yeah. No, it totally is. Um, but it's Lisa's mom is so like she's so pushy, and Lisa says that she's been weaning herself off her meds and that it's made her feel better. There's medication gets such a stigma, and it shouldn't, because not the same thing doesn't work for everybody.
No.
Some people need meds, some people don't. Some people do better without them. And like, I'm somebody who needs meds. I absolutely need meds. If you tell me like that I should go off my Zoloft, I'm not going to listen to another word you're going to say to me. But Lisa says she's feeling better. It's working for her to be off the meds. And her mom is like, and it's not like she's in denial. I mean, her mom actually says, I know you're depressed. I know you can't see it, but I can always tell. And Lisa responds by saying, yes, I am still depressed because it's kind of a forever thing.
Yeah.
So she acknowledges that she's not in denial or anything.
No, but she knows she's not going to get miraculously cured. But then that's when
Yeah.
Natalie jumps in and she's like, if it's working for her,
Right.
why not just shut the fuck up, lady? That, you know what I mean? Like, just appreciate that she's coming to visit you. And she keeps calling it, the call. Her mom is, yeah, I have a big problem with bad parents.
Yeah.
So I really saw her as, like I said, trying very hard to be the person that she so badly needed when she was younger. But also, I loved her exit, because she was like, okay, that wasn't helping. I got shut down. She didn't get mad. She didn't say, fuck you, you brought me here. Da, 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 da. No, she resorted. And you can watch, if you watch the scene, God, I love Juliette Lewis. If you watch the scene, you can see her acting like young Natalie.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And they didn't flash it, but like I could see, I could see Sophie Thatcher's kind of mannerism.
100%.
Right? And her bravado, and just, oh, clap, clap, clap. So many awards to everyone on this show. But and then you see her, and honestly, for a second, I thought she was going to eat the goldfish. I really thought she was going to swallow the goldfish.
Oh my gosh.
And I love your tag on there. Oh, it's gone for a minute. But
oh
yeah, that was, and then still acting like her whole bravado was 96 Natalie, when she was like, here's your fucking fish. It wasn't aggressive. It was just like, you know what? I helped after all.
Yeah.
And, and it was so supportive. And it was really nice to see adult Natalie having a new friendship.
Mm-hmm.
After trying to stab her in the face, but bygones. We'll just let, bygones are cool, and hug it out.
Yeah.
But it was that was an amazing scene.
It was so amazing. And it's crazy because we're always talking about how great Sophie Thatcher is at channeling Juliette Lewis. And this week it was like Juliette Lewis was channeling Sophie Thatcher. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
It was so cool.
It was amazing. And I see that, and it's so impressive, because it's not just that this is such a great script and such a great concept, but you need these eminent actors to bring all these people to life. And the people that they cast is just amazing. I think I saw Melanie Linsky first thing I ever saw her in was Happy-ish,
Okay.
which was on with one of the guys from the League is in there. I can't remember his name. Plays her husband, and it was good. I think it was only on for like a handful of seasons, kind of like a dramedy. And sadly, my boyfriend only remembers her from 2.5 Men.
Gotcha.
She looks a little different and stuff, but she's not easily typecast. I don't see her playing the same kind of roles, you know what I mean? And that's my favorite thing about Juliette Lewis is she is like the anti typecast. It's all the roles that she has played, and I love watching her play like a calm, more zen, and that she has that stab you in the face instinct, and you know what I mean? And she's still, grabbing the gun. She's a badass. But then you watch her in something like August Osage County. What was that?
I've never seen it.
Oh God, with Meryl Streep and oh my God, there's who else is in it? I can't remember. And she's one of the Julia Roberts.
Okay.
They're sisters.
Gotcha.
And Meryl Streep is their mom. Please watch this. And she's just fantastic. One more Juliette Lewis prop, just because I'm wearing the shirt.
Yes.
Just have to. One of my favorite movies in the world.
Love it.
And she is just incredible to play a part like that, and then play a part like this, and Catch and Release. I don't know if I mentioned, I live in Colorado.
Yeah.
And there is this brilliant film called Catch and Release. I cannot remember who did the film, but Kevin Smith is in it.
Okay.
Just as an actor. It's not a Kevin Smith. It's not View Askew. It's a very serious kind of comedy drama, if that makes sense. Brilliant soundtrack. And it's Jennifer Garner and Timothy Oliphant and Kevin Smith are kind of like the leads. And then a little bit into the movie, I think it's probably my second favorite role for Juliette Lewis. She's blonde and from California and kind of ditzy and has this kid, and she is just phenomenal in it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend Catch and Release. The entire movie was filmed in Boulder.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Some of the scenes where they're just like walking around the town and you see the old houses and the cottages and stuff like that. I remember when I saw it, I was like, I'm moving to Colorado. Maybe not today, but I want that in my life, like the little lakes and all the mountains in the background and stuff. And that's where I live now. It's about a half an hour from Boulder. But that's how much I love that movie. And you're missing out on all things Juliette Lewis if you have not seen Catch and Release. Definitely Mickey and Mallory in Natural Born Killers. For the younger, for Gen Z, for all the Gen Z people that are, loving Yellowjackets, like please, please, please watch these films. All right. So
one of my favorite covers ever is from that movie. Sweet Jane. Cowboy Junkies.
Yes. Yeah. Better than the original.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love Lou Reed. I love Velvet Underground and Lou Reed, but that was such an I love an amazing cover that is even better than the original. And that's one of them. I think that was even better.
Yes.
So good.
I like a lot of Beatles covers better than the original.
Oh yeah. I'm not a Beatles fan.
Neither's my boyfriend. He says they're completely overrated, but they were good
when they were on drugs.
Yes.
They were great.
Same with Aerosmith. Stop. Yeah. Some people should just always do drugs, and some people should not.
Totally. Toys in the Attic, man, is one of my favorite songs. Oh my God.
And it's such a great old.
Song. Yeah. Okay. We're totally getting off on a different tangent here.
Yeah. Apologies, viewers. We are both
Sorry, guys.
extreme music enthusiasts here.
This happens every time I do an episode. I swear to God, because somebody starts a tangent and I can't help but finish it. Like I just, you can't tempt me with tangents because I have no willpower.
All right, where were we?
So we leave Lisa's house, and we'll come back for a moment, but we see Shauna pulling over the van, and she asks Callie to come out and talk to her, and she just tells her everything. And Kelly's like, okay. Kelly's like, everything about this sucks. And
yeah,
you know, it kind of took the heat off of Shauna a little bit, because Callie's like, well, okay, at least my dad's still normal. And then she's like, well, your dad was involved too.
Threw him under the bus. And now she's like, oh my God, my parents are criminals. So she's either gonna, become a criminal mastermind, or I don't know, man. She's the same age as I love how they did that she's the same age as they were when they were stranded. And I have no idea, because I stand by Shauna's statement in the first season where she's like, our daughter is an asshole. And the actress, I've seen, a couple of her posts, like on Instagram and stuff and interviews. And you have to understand, viewers, everyone that's watching, when I call characters assholes, like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Half the people that ever watched 90210 in the 90s only watched it for the I Hate Brenda fan club. And it takes, but nowadays, and like Mari and Crystal being over the top, annoying, and Callie just being like the epitome of a horrible, horrible teenage daughter, that I just, I'm going off on my own tangent here. Sorry. That I think it takes so much talent and so much skill as an actor, so to get the audience to hate you like that. I mean, bravo. If you're, you know what I mean?
And Sarah Desjardins is doing such a great job, because I think she's portraying it super realistically too.
Yes.
I mean,
what if do you think Callie's going to make it? What would happen between Shauna and Jeff if something happens to Callie?
God, I don't want to think about it.
Right?
I think Callie will be fine, though. I think she'll be fine.
I hope so.
But I think this is going to fuck her up royally.
She's going to need to go to be sent away to boarding school or something.
Oh man.
Who knows?
I know, that poor kid. I feel for her. Like, she's such a brat, but I just, you can't help but feel bad for her at the same time, Yeah,
but remember, she was going to blackmail her own mother. So it's
yeah,
it's
that's true.
In the family, blackmail just it's in the genes.
That's true. That's true. It is.
And I don't know what Jeff is. I feel so bad for Jeff. And I really feel like, do you think Randy is going to go tell Jeff what happened? Because they literally kidnapped. Didn't he kidnap Randy?
I don't think so. I think they just got him to, I think Randy just felt like he had to go because it was the FBI as far as he knew.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think Randy's going to talk to Jeff about it for sure. Because Randy was probably shitting his pants after that, and on the phone. He was probably on the phone to Jeff right away. Yeah. It's like, Jeff, man, that they know they just interrogated me.
Yeah. What do they know? What else do they know?
Yeah. And how is Natalie involved?
Seriously.
But so then we go to the past, and we see Van leading Ty over to the map that she created, that Ben and Natalie put together, and she shows her the trees that Ty led her to, and they all create the symbol, and there's one left to find.
That was so freaky. And that's where they find Javi.
Right. Now, you know what I thought was interesting about this is Van said, she was like, I think Coach Ben made this. I'm not sure. He put it together, but it was Natalie and Travis like mapping everything out. And so this is something that really Natalie did, but Van is kind of looking at it like, and obviously there's something going on with Ty because she did know to go to all these trees somehow, but still, like, Natalie's the one that mapped all this out.
Yeah, 7
So
miles in every direction.
yeah,
What?
so Natalie is like doing a lot of stuff that she's not really getting credit for. So which is, I think going to create a lot of that. I
Yeah.
think that's going to add into like the division in the group,
Well, that's what I was thinking about before. So it's going to be obvious that Vanessa will go with Lottie,
Mhm.
obviously, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like the boys are going to go with Lottie too. I feel like not Javi. I feel like Travis is going to completely douche out and turn his back on Natalie and not even. She's going to be like, I just did it, for your own good. And blah, blah, blah. And he's going to be like, I hate you. Don't speak to me ever again. I don't want your help. And and again, love the actor, douchey character.
Yeah.
And he's just like he's always letting us down. And Natalie reminds me a lot of myself in high school where like you just why won't he love me? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna I know you don't want my help, but I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
And dudes love that. And and then he was also having that the last time that Natalie and Travis were fooling around, he was having those flashes of Lottie. So I think there's a lot more to that, and they're going to be on the other side. Who's going to be on Natalie's side?
Yeah, I think
Thaisa?
I mean, I think Thaisa is gonna have like some real conflict between Van and Natalie as to who, and it makes it interesting. It makes it like, looking back now after seeing everything that we've seen so far this season, it makes it so much more interesting that Ty didn't want to bail Natalie and Misty out of jail because she didn't want her going to see Travis, because she said they were so bad for each other.
So toxic.
And yeah, and it makes me think that like things probably got really bad between her and Van, and maybe their relationships were kind of similar, except Van is like the polar opposite of Travis. Like Van is like just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, she just
You can
wants
do
to
no
help.
wrong.
She just wants to help, and
Yeah.
I loved her from the start. Just
Yeah.
Now you want to save the corn nuts.
I love her so much. But yeah, I think we might see that there's some similarities that kind of bond Natalie and Ty together as far as their relationships go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but who else is going to go with them? And which
Yeah,
side is Shauna going to be on? Shauna and
yeah.
Thaisa have a bond, but Thaisa was also the one that called her out for having her live frozen Jackie doll.
Yeah. I think Shauna will. I think Shauna, Natalie, and Thaisa will all end up as one team together.
Okay.
Yeah. And but we right after we see this map scene, we get another flashback to, was this now I was confused. We see another scene with Ben and Paul. Was this a flashback or was this a what if scenario? Was he moving in?
I think that he was like about to move in, or in the process of moving in, and he's kind of sketchy about it. And then he finds his box of all the stuff and whatever. But
so this was a what if.
I don't know that he was all in on that relationship. Yeah. And he might just be thinking about, what if, what could be. But I think he's flashing back to like the last time they were together. And I think there's going to be more to that. And I feel like maybe they were broken up or did
Yeah,
she do a match?
like maybe he'll so this is kind of a what if, and maybe he's trying to change the narrative in his mind so that he has more of a will to live, because maybe it'll help him feel less like he made a mistake. Because like before it was all, he was fantasizing about not going on the plane and then moving in with Paul and everything was perfect.
Yes.
And now we see like a little bit of friction. So maybe he's kind of changing the narrative in his mind, like to kind of help him survive a little bit. That could be.
I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Poor Ben.
I know. I feel so bad for him. But okay, so I want to point out a really cool camera angle. We go back to Lisa's mom's house, and Natalie's looking at photos on the wall of Lisa and her mom, and Lisa looks miserable in all of the photos. But the camera kind of like focuses on Natalie's reflection in the pictures, which I thought was really cool. So kind of like, she's seeing herself in Lisa,
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a really nice visual.
Yeah.
And and they finally leave and she gets in the car and then spits out the 14th gilly into the water bottle. It's like, here's your fucking fish.
Yes. So matter of fact.
I know.
That was great.
Oh God. Natalie was so great in this episode. So fucking great.
Yeah.
Just awesome. I love her and Lisa together too.
Same. They just had such a, little bit of a rocky start,
Yeah.
But it's awkward and it's wonderful. And at first I was like, is Lisa just a new character? Is Lisa the wilderness baby? Could she be 25? Right? And this and that. Yeah. I don't know. I can't say. I don't want to guess, what's going to happen in the future. I kind of like still being like, what happened to the baby? Because we know they don't eat it. That was lame for them to tell us that, but whatever.
Yeah.
So next part. Ooh, I did the shout out for the music supervision, correct?
Yeah, you did.
Because that was, oh my God, that's such a dream job. Here, let me take the best show on television and decide what awesome music is going to go in what spot. Again,
so jealous.
Doing that job. Was it Jen Malone? Is that her last name?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's like my dream job. So then we see Walter and Misty at the farmer's market, and there's the empty Sunshine Honey stand. That's empty.
Feel like they never made it.
Yeah. So they get an approximate location from one of the other vendors and they head off, but he's all like, hey, it's getting dark. Let's check in to a B&B here. Okay, I'm going to tell you what my theory about all of this is.
Drum roll.
Lottie's having visions, right? That she hasn't had in years. Thaisa is walking down a road way far away from home, and a truck driver pulls up and offers her a ride. Walter comes into Misty's life, happens to love show tunes, and is wearing shorts the whole time. After Misty like made a comment in her first episode about liking muscular calves. I think Lottie is doing something to bring everybody back to the compound.
Okay.
I think Walter might be part of Lottie's group.
Okay. Oh, and I hope so. I really fucking hope so, because Missy's gonna have to kill him. But that montage where they had the side by side like we are now, but if they're doing the exact same thing, and it was just bravo, man.
But like, I think that he might actually be getting feelings for her, and that's why he was delaying trying to go to the compound.
Okay.
because then he feels like, okay, then it's going to be over. She'll know what the deal is, and then I was like basically sent here to retrieve her.
Okay.
And like, I mean, she sent people to get Natalie. Like, I don't know if right, but like, she still sent people to get her, and I think that they're going to. I think that she's going to. I think the truck driver could also be part of the compound, and was perhaps following her.
Yeah.
And knew where she was going, knew exactly where she was going, and he might swing by and pick up her and Van and offer them a ride.
Okay.
Offer them a ride back to New Jersey or something, and they just go to the compound.
They just end up at the compound. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's, yeah. Or maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of ways that could go. But yeah, I think basically Lottie has done something to get them all to like come back to this compound.
Do you think she knows what she's doing, or is it just like her energy, or whatever is happening, drawing them back to the same place again?
I'm not sure. But I think she's deliberately doing something to get them back. But
Okay.
I think that I don't necessarily think that her reasons are malicious. I think that she's having these visions, and they're scaring her, and she feels like she needs to get the group back together because she's worried that they all might be in danger somehow.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. And like before, I was talking about how interesting it was that she starts having visions after Natalie shows up. But I think Natalie might have shown up because she was having visions, and she retrieved her because she's trying to bring everybody back together to like, because she feels that they're all in danger somehow. That's what I'm thinking. That's my whole theory.
How are they going to get everybody else? What are there, seven survivors at the end? We don't know yet.
8.
Okay.
Well, we actually don't know yet. 8 is the Cannibal Council. There could be more though.
Okay.
Because the Cannibal Council that we saw doesn't necessarily have to include everybody. There could be other people that aren't there.
Okay.
So yeah, but we know that the only ones that we know for sure got out of the wilderness are the 6 main leads and Travis. So we only know for sure that, so 7 confirmed survivors.
Okay.
And then there may be more on top of that. But yeah, we'll eventually find out.
Someone's got to die this season.
I would think so. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I think they're going to eat somebody again this season for sure. Probably going to be Ben.
Yeah.
But so they so then we go back to the past timeline, and they're trying to rescue this moose, which is just ridiculous. This thing is huge.
I actually had hopes. I was like, but it's in the water and it's so heavy.
I know.
That's not gonna happen.
But I mean, maybe like, I don't know, maybe they could find some fish or something. Like, I don't know.
I was in a chat, like a chat group about the show, and everyone keeps saying that too. Like, why aren't they ice fishing? Okay, yeah. So I feel like the moose, because we were talking about how rare it was, right? I think the moose was like a unicorn, and maybe there still just aren't any animals. And now they said the birds that came weren't sick. But remember when they were walking past the river, I think that was last season, and there was just nothing, and everyone was fishing. Travis was fishing, and there was nothing. So they tried to hunt. So maybe that's the thing, and there just aren't any fish.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that because we never saw them even trying to do that. But I felt so bad for Natalie. Like, she first of all, she kind of falls in face first after the moves, which was terrifying. But I mean, she's just sobbing hysterically. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, I felt so bad for her. Because I mean, it wasn't her fault, obviously, but like I can just imagine like the feeling of failure that she
You're
probably
so
had.
close. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
so close. And that could have fed them for the rest of the winter. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to know what moose tastes like personally.
Yeah.
But
Same.
yeah, she was yelling, they need it. And it
Mhm.
was just, oh my God. And plus, I think it was really the first time that we see a complete softer side of young Natalie when she
Yeah.
kind of broke down temporarily for that moment. And
For
then,
sure.
but then when they could always eat Javi. If he's crazy, you
Yeah.
know, he
Yeah.
gets a little too feral. They're like, all right, there's some nice meat.
Yeah. Yeah, right. um, but we after this though, we get another brilliant scene with with Natalie and Lisa in the bar. And she's like and Natalie's like, "Are you gonna kill that fish?" And she's like, "I'm so afraid I'm gonna kill this fish." Um, but like you know what? I feel like we totally skipped over. I'm looking at my notes here, and
You know.
I somehow oh no, wait. Yeah, I skipped over before the okay. I no, it's now. It's coming up now. So I almost skipped over it. Not quite though. Yeah, Lottie finds the propeller plane with Leonard and the necklace, and Laura Lee's necklace.
But Leonard got
And
fried up.
I know, like I was so confused just what was happening until she opened the hatch, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's a vision. Um, and this mall scene was really cool. Like she
It's
finds
so
all of
creepy.
her friends. I know, and everyone except Jackie is there.
She hates Jackie.
I
She
know.
literally said, "You don't matter here,"
Yeah,
and
yeah,
was like, "Yeah, the reign of Jackie's terror
yeah.
was done. Lottie was done with that a couple
It
months
was
ago."
the way this scene was executed was so cool because she's Laura Lee's like, I got that for you, meaning the food.
Yeah,
And she starts eating, and Laura Lee's like, you need to get out of the cold. And then we see it like snowing on her um inside the mall, and she doesn't want to go. She wants to stay. And Laura Lee's, if you don't get out of here and get warm, you're gonna die. And she pushes her, yeah, and then she collapses in the snow. So we see like she's clearly got hypothermia, and like, this is something that like that happens to people a lot when they have
yeah.
hypothermia. Like they start kind of losing their minds and hallucinating, and it's it's not that it's ever happened to me, but I've read about it. um and but it was interesting because like she wanted to stay with her friends, but they were pushing her away, which is eventually how she survived, because like she made that situation unhospitable for her because she actually wanted to live. Whereas like Jackie, who was totally checked out, like she was like Shauna was bringing her hot cocoa. Everybody was telling her they loved her,
Hmm.
and she wanted to die. Jackie totally wanted to die. Lottie didn't, which is why it was they were trying to get rid of her. Um, but yeah, so then we get to the bar scene, and like I love everything about the dialogue in the bar scene, um because I'm gonna read the dialogue because it is so amazing. Lisa's like, "Do you think I can keep him alive?" And Natalie says, "I have no idea, but fuck what your mom says. If you want to kill yourself, then kill yourself. But it doesn't look like you do today. So I think that fish is going to survive tonight, and the rest worry about it tomorrow." Which was just amazing. Like, just I mean, she was being so unbelievably like safe and supportive and not
she pushed her own drink away.
Yeah. And remember what she said? Like, remember when she was sitting in the forest with Ben in the Doom Coming episode and she brought that bottle and she wasn't even drinking.
Yeah.
Because she just didn't really, she wasn't interested in drinking.
Yeah.
And in rehab, she had said that like her vices were basically because she had lost her purpose. So I think this whole scene right here is like, I think she feels like her purpose is to kind of, I mean, yeah, Lisa's an adult who can take care of herself, but I think she wants to be the type of parent to Lisa almost that she needed, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities there. And you know, if they're going to keep Lisa around as a main character, I'm sure they will dig up, you know, some reasons why she was there. Maybe we'll get a little bit more intel on her if she's going to stick around for a minute.
Oh God, I hope she does. I hope she sticks around. I love them together so much. So much. But so then the next scene is the B&B. And that whole montage was so great.
Yeah, that was
set to the song Angst in My Pants by Sparks, which I was so happy to hear this song in the show because I love this song. And I kind of had forgotten that it existed, but I was like, oh my God, I love this song. But did you notice though, like, you know, it showed them side by side doing exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Except Walter took everything up a notch though. Did you notice that?
Yes. When he had like, when she was just checking this, like lifting the sheets and checking them, Walter had like the Ocean's 13, you know, one that lights up everything and shows bugs and semen and God knows what. And yeah, and then there was something else where she was just doing it with her eye and he had some other kind of tool or something.
She was like cleaning the phone and he was like taking the phone apart.
He took it apart, yeah, looking for bugs and stuff. Because they're citizen detectives.
Right.
And if he's got something to do with Lottie's cult, then he knows that there's some bugs in there somewhere. There's some microphones.
Yeah. Exactly. And then Misty had the little like the gold patches under her eyes and he had like the whole face thing. Everything was kind of like turned up a notch with him. They were doing the same thing, but everything was just turned up a notch.
Yeah, that was really cute. That was so good how they did it side by side like that.
I loved it. It was awesome. It was great. I loved it.
Now, I read that there was going to be some kind of romance between them, but it's so opposite anything in Misty's character to sleep with someone in a hotel on the first date, and it's not even really technically a date.
Yeah.
Where it brings me back again to the possibility of Misty being a serial killer from season 1, where if Natalie didn't show up with the gun, what was going to happen to that guy? Would he have been in our basement?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if she really likes this, if she really likes Walter, that, you know, she doesn't want to bring him to her basement, but I think she's gonna keep him on a leash for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad that he's only going to be around for one season though. That's kind of a bummer.
That's what I read. You never know.
Yeah.
If you know, if he has rave reviews, maybe he'll sign on again. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what's funny is the way I actually found that out that Elijah Wood was going to be on the show. We had a Zoom meeting scheduled with Showtime, and they canceled it at like the last minute, and we're like, what the hell's going on? Like that sucks. Like, we already had makeup on and had like, done our hair and everything and made ourselves look presentable. And then like right shortly after the Zoom was supposed to start, we get an email from Showtime saying sorry we couldn't explain before, but this is the reason. It was the casting announcement. So
That's cool.
it was kind of funny. But yeah, so then we go back to the Sadeki house, and the family's just kind of like coming together, and it's like a nice family moment kind of in a weird
Right?
way.
As
It's,
fucked up as it is, it's
yeah. Like Callie actually wants to spend time with them, and she offers to chop cucumbers, and like it's kind of a nice moment. And Shauna says, she thinks they're going to be okay, and yeah, it's
that's what
kind of
everybody
nice.
says before the shit really hits the fan.
Exactly, which will be next week.
Yeah. Whenever
um,
anyone's like, I'll be fine. No, murdered. Next scene.
right, exactly. Um, and so we then catch up with Van and Ty, who are out looking for the tree because Ty agreed to go, and Ty is actually like trying to make Van happy by like letting her have this, like she's going along with it,
It's the least you
and
can do.
they're about to head back, and because they don't find it, but then they find Javi, who's like running away from them, terrified.
It's the last thing, the last human communication that we know of that Javi said was Shauna telling him to run. And he
In that
saw what
demonic
was
voice.
happening to Travis. So he doesn't know that that was
Right.
acid, and then, and that's over. And he's been gone for 2 months, turning into, God, what was that movie where the guy like dies in Alaska, gets lost out there, but he goes kind of crazy first and they find all his notebooks. I don't remember. I can't think of the name. There's probably like 14 people yelling at the screen at us right now. It's this.
Yeah.
This is, but he's stranded and he's by himself, and it's winter and he's starving, and being hangry is like not good for anyone's brain either. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah, for sure. And they bring him back, and he's still not really talking. Like
No,
Travis has to like tell him that, it's me, Travis, your brother. And he's really stoic. He's just like, it's like he's not there,
yeah. Like, what has he seen?
Yeah,
He,
exactly.
where's he been sleeping? What's he
Right.
been eating?
Underground somewhere, I'm telling you. He's been underground.
Maybe he found something.
I think so. But we might not find out for a while if he's not talking,
I know.
So I don't know. We'll see. He might actually try to leave in the night. He might actually try to get away from them, and then they have to go find him again, and that could be when they find. And then they actually do find him like underground.
That would be cool.
I could see that happening. So then we see Natalie we go back to the compound, and Natalie's sitting there with Lottie's keys. So, and we saw in the preview for next week, she's like going through some shit. She's like going through boxes, and so she's doing some digging.
But for what? Like more
Yeah,
travel stuff, or
probably that's what I'm thinking. Because she said she didn't believe any of that.
I
Any of
wouldn't.
what Lottie was saying. And yeah, and then we also see Lottie going outside and finding the no, I'm sorry. First we see her in her office or whatever, and she's she's going through her gratitude cards, and she sees a card that says, "I'm grateful for my friends." And then it's followed by a Queen of Hearts with the eyes scribbled out. And then it repeats. She again finds another card, "I'm grateful for my friends." And then the Queen of Hearts with the eye scribbled out. So obviously, she's seeing stuff. And that's what makes her go outside and go to her little tree stump altar and make the blood sacrifice. She cuts her hand and says, "Please let this be enough." So she's clearly like feeling like this is that the wilderness is trying to make her kill somebody or something,
Yes.
And if she's saying, "Please let this be enough," and
that also means that she had done it before and it wasn't enough.
Right. Exactly. And I know this is run really long, but fortunately, it's the end of the episode. We see Ty showing up at While You Were Streaming.
Yes.
And we see Lauren Ambrose, the adult fan.
Finally.
Oh my gosh. I almost fainted. I was so excited.
She could not look more like adult Van if she tried. And I loved her in I loved her in 6 Feet Under. She was my favorite. And it just, oh my God, she drove a green hearse as her car to go to high school. She was badass. And I just finished watching, what was that show? It's got
Servant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched it because I love her.
Yeah.
And I was gearing up for season 2 of YJ. And I also love Toby, what is it? Toby Sellers?
Okay.
What's the guy's name? He was in a Guy Ritchie movie that I've seen probably 50 times called Rock and Rolla. It came out right after Snatch.
Gotcha.
And it's amazing. And I was very impressed with his American accent as well. But that was great. She's fantastic. And I know the writers did exactly what they did to drive all of us crazy. And we waited.
I know.
We're all the way to the 4th episode. And they're like, look, it's Lauren. Credits.
Yeah, exactly.
But the name, like I took a screenshot of the name of the store. It's just, they're so clever. Just with every single detail in that show. And it's, what is it when they're back in modern day? Yeah, we're going to need to see, they need to sell this t-shirt, right? Because this is 95, 94, 95. She should have this poster hanging.
Totally.
Have like Pulp Fiction and what else? Juliette Lewis is in California in like 93. I want to see a montage, or not a montage. I want to see like a special shout out to like the 90s, movies and posters and stuff in there. I just thought that was so clever. And I legitimately am praying that when episode 5 opens up, it's going to pick exactly right up after Ty, or she's like Thaisa, when she realizes that it's her. I want it to pick up like right there.
She only said one word, and it was so cool, like hearing Lauren Ambrose's voice, like as Van. It was just so cool. I mean, because like I'm so familiar with her voice, and just hearing her voice as Van was just so fucking cool. Yeah. Yes. I have to, like, I just thought of this, and I just wanted to share. I think my favorite Claire Fisher moment was when there were so many great Claire Fisher moments, but one of my favorite lines that she had was she was sitting outside with Ruth, and she was like, "I think I'm just gonna cut off all my hair like Felicity," and Ruth is like, "Felicity, do I know her?" And she's like, "Yeah, she joined us for dinner one night." I love that. That's one of my favorite Claire Fisher lines. But anyway, yeah, I'm so excited for this week's episode. I cannot wait to see her. Oh my God, so excited. So damn excited.
I need episode 5 to be big, heavy focus on Vanessa and Ty together as adults. And I need more Javi. We need to see
for
if
sure.
he didn't want anybody touching him. I need to know where he's been.
I know, right?
Oh, dude. Javi's the meat thief.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know though. Like, I think he was probably afraid. I think he's probably afraid to go anywhere near that cabin.
I
Like,
don't
just
know.
based on his
It
demeanor.
could be. I'm gonna put in my vote for either Thais's altar, personality, not shrine, and Javi.
Okay. Gotcha. I can't. I still think Ben is the pea bucket poopatrator. I have no idea about the meat thief. I no clue. But I have a new theory on Pit Girl, and I think Pit Girl is the mouse. No, I'm kidding.
She's too small for the antlers.
No, I said that on the live, and Justin was hilarious. It's like, could you imagine they put like a little white dress on it?
Yeah, somebody is going to end up eating that mouse, and
for sure.
It's really going to break Aquila.
Oh yeah, I'm positive. So like, I'm sorry this has run so long, but we have just a couple of things that we do in every episode. Now I always do a hypothetical, and my hypothetical this week: if you could choose any Yellowjackets character to take a road trip with another fictional TV character, who would you choose? What's your pick?
Okay, so my first thought would be teenage Shauna and Harrison from Dexter spinoff, from Dexter New Blood.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Right? So I would be a teenager too. And then would they help me kill other people? Would they fall in love? Would they have to kill each other? We could be like road tripping teenage angst serial killers, you know, like going cross country.
Maybe that could be interesting. I chose Natalie. I chose Natalie and Boomer from Wentworth because can't you just imagine the two of them together?
Yes. Boomer was my absolute favorite. And if you don't know what we're talking about and you haven't watched Wentworth, please watch Wentworth, because Kelly almost damn near forced me to watch it. And I binge watched all, what was it, 6, 7 episodes?
9
episodes in, I think, probably 3 weeks. Or not episodes, 9
seasons. Yes.
I mean,
so good. So good. But oh my God, Natalie and Boomer would just be amazing together. I could totally see that.
Definitely.
Now, did you have a favorite song for this episode?
It's lame. It would just be the Alanis Morissette cover. I mean, it's a cover, so that's my pick. I wasn't really familiar with the music in this particular episode as I have been in the other ones. Like, there was one episode when they started to play, you know, Tracy Bonham, and I'm like freaking out, and you know, and like dancing at the TV, and I get all Beavis like. And then there was a couple episodes. The most impactful song with me this season so far, hands down, Cornflake Girl. That and the end, and with Shauna, and the part where she's, and this is not really happening. Oh my God. And that really struck a chord with me. I didn't get a lot like that with this episode, except once I realized it was Alanis Morissette's vocals, and they used it as the shitty mall music, like the music back, you know, and made it really creepy. That was impactful. I enjoyed that.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, my pick. No, I think that's a great pick. My pick was "Angst in My Pants" by Sparks, because I love that song, and it was just such a treat. It's always great to hear it always gives you a good feeling when you hear a song that you haven't heard in so long that like
Yes.
you kind of forgot all about it. So and I love the montage that it was used for, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. So now we can go to the Sassy Magazine Award, which is our MVP award because Sassy Magazine was like the best thing from the 90s.
Yes.
And what was you picked Van, right? For the
I
her
did.
mapping skills with the
Yeah.
symbol.
Yeah, definitely. For her to have been through everything that she's been through and take the liberty to take the maps and realize that there really is something, ghost huntery going on here, and we've got to figure this out. And making, convincing Thaisa to go, that took a lot because Thaisa has been butting heads with her and saying, no, this is explainable. And she's like, but just let me show you. And how hard she tried, that she still couldn't believe. And she just tried so hard, failed at what she wanted the outcome, to sway Thaisa, but she really stood her ground and she stayed strong and just mad respect. And then, at the very end with the VHS shop, and then it just kind of made her low key my hero for that.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
definitely. Yeah. And I'm usually like 150% team Nat, but I got to go with Van for this particular episode for MVP.
Gotcha. I am going with Natalie.
Okay.
Adult Natalie, like teen Natalie was great too. But adult Natalie just had like all of her scenes with Lisa were fantastic. I loved how she was with her, and just the way she smuggled that goldfish was just brilliant. I mean, God, Natalie was so fucking awesome in this episode. It was just such a great Natalie episode. It really was.
I really thought she was gonna eat that goldfish. Like get even with the mom and just be like, bitch, now nobody likes a goldfish. But what she did was even better. That was so fantastic.
I know. Here's your fucking fish.
Just so-
I love the way she said that. And now the LVP, which is the Zubaz Award, because they were one of the worst things about the 90s. You chose Ben for being a little bitch about being eaten.
Yes. Yes, I did. And I know some of y'all out there in YouTube land are getting very upset about my choice. However, I'm going to explain. So Ben has, like, in this episode, he is behaving like a teenage girl. Maybe he's just absorbing his surroundings. It looks to me like after the feast, he is no longer like a teacher, like a coach, like an authority figure. And if whatever type of authority he had, bitch ass Mari stood up and took that away. And she's like, and again, this actress, she's so fantastic. I genuinely despise her, but I don't know it's killed off just yet. Right?
Yeah.
Like a soap opera. But I just lost myself with train of thought. My dog over here. Sorry. Yeah, so you keep talking because I just totally lost my train of thought and I can't rewind.
Oh no. But I was just gonna say my Zubaz Award for this episode.
Oh yeah, Ben being a bitch.
Yeah. I originally said that it was gonna be Jessica for like the type of work that she does, and she leaves the effing her spare key under the doormat. But then I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Ty for leaving the Yellowjackets folder in the car.
Oh yes.
But now I'm changing my mind and going back to Jessica because I don't think there was anything incriminating in that folder. I really don't think there was. Like, because Jessica hadn't really found anything out yet.
Just more like where to find everyone, I guess.
Exactly.
Alive. But what I was saying about I lost my thought for a second. Sorry, it happens. What I was saying about Ben and why I chose him is because he could continue to step in, but it always does seem to be Mari that's like, stay out of it, coach. You know, what are you going to do about it? Even Laura Lee challenged him. And then when he saw looking out the window and he sees all these tiny little adorable cannibals and decides, oh my God, I want nothing to do with that. Right. And he's hungry. His stomach's growling. He is, maybe Ben will team up with Natalie. I forgot about that. But maybe, and I have high hopes for Ben coming back around because they were friends. And maybe now Natalie has more backup. But for this episode in particular, he was, oh, you guys, what are you going to do? Eat me? And it just seemed like he was just being a huge baby, and he had just given up on trying to have any type of authority or, you know, any type of control, for lack of a better word. And I think he's starting to do his own like downward spiral thing. Yeah,
I think so. So the other fun thing, my favorite part of the little weekly segments that we do every week are the superlatives. Let me just turn this ticker off so I can bring them up here. So we always do a yearbook entry for each character, and I am actually putting together a real yearbook.
That's gonna be awesome.
I know. It's a lot of fun. So I'll bring up yours first.
Okay.
You chose Van for most likely to survive a wolf attack and open a VHS store. And I usually include a quote from the episode for the characters, but all she said was Thai. So I just made up a quote and put, "What the fuck am I doing in Ohio?"
What the fuck was she doing in Ohio? That's a perfect quote.
And like, and Van is not fake at all. The scribbles mean nothing. I literally just like, because you know how, you know, it was like commonplace to deface your yearbooks, and you know, kids used to do that all the time.
Slam books.
Yeah, exactly. And then
teenage
mine.
So mean to each other.
Mari.
The ill.
Most likely to use multiple accounts to review bomb podcasts. Her quote is, "This is all because of you, you know."
Especially iTunes podcasts.
Yes. If you guys, as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently being review bombed, and I'm deciding that it's Mari doing it. She's alive and well.
Who else would have the time?
Exactly. It's totally Mari. Mari is review bombing me, and I'm coming to get you, Mari.
Do it.
If you're not Pit Girl, I'm gonna make you Pit Girl, Mari.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you in that pit, Mari. We don't like mean girls.
Yeah. So those are our superlatives. So they'll go into the yearbook. And I just decided actually during this episode that I'm going to make visuals for the Sassy Magazine and Zubaz Awards. And I'm gonna like do a Sassy Magazine template and put the MVP characters on it. And then when someone is an LVP of the week, I'm gonna actually put Zubaz on them.
Make sure there's at least one full page ad for Love's Baby Soft.
Oh yeah.
For sure. That in Sassy Magazine. Oh my God.
For sure. I'm more looking forward to putting Zubaz on the characters. That's gonna be fun.
That's funny. I think they're cute.
Oh my gosh. Well, I like this was a super long episode, but thank you so much for joining me, Lexi.
Absolutely. I'm so excited you asked to have me back. I love this. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be an Antler Queen.
And you're going to be joining me actually this Sunday for the live.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. We do lives every Sunday immediately following the episode, and you can tweet along if you're on Twitter. I do tweet alongs with while the episode is playing. And you can tag us in the tweets. You can tag the Antler Queens or use the hashtag Antler Queens Live, and then we'll go live right after the episode on YouTube. So check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/@theantlerqueens, and like I said, Lexi will be there, and I always have a great time with you. So that'll be a fun episode. I'm looking forward to it.
We don't even know. Do we know what next week is going to be about? Even it's got to be. I'm just going to be like, man, hobby, man.
Yeah. Well, the episode is called Two Truths and a Lie, and we got the mailing this week.
And the mouse.
Yeah. So these are the hints. This is a bowling pin, which that is. I think that's really, there were images from the previews of Callie going bowling with Jay/Matt.
I love how they're doing this like Ozark used to do in the beginning, and they would just show like a design, and it would have a little sketch, and then you watch the show a couple times and you realize that's what the episode is going to be about, all the little sketches. So this is really neat, but I can't tell what that is on top.
That looks like a pile. That looks like a pile of cell phones. So like, you know, when like people sometimes go out, when they go in groups, and they'll all put their cell phones in a pile, so like nobody uses their phones while they're having dinner. And but there's 4 phones there. So that's what I figured it probably was, but yeah, I don't know. It's like 4 people. I don't know what that could refer to. But we'll see. I don't think it's like a Sadeki family bonding thing, because there's 4 phones total.
What if the 4th is Jay?
Oh God.
What if they like, you know, well, let me meet this guy and feel him out, and this, I'm telling you, Shauna's gonna have to kill him.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
I think I'm just excited to see.
Yeah.
Van. I'm excited to see Van. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, for sure.
Same. I'm gonna be freeze framing it every second when they show footage inside while you were streaming, and I really hope that every single fan caught that, because and then while you were sleeping, and and one of her greatest memories, and it is just so goddamn clever. It really is.
It is. It really is. Well, that is it for the episode. I'm gonna go grab some dinner with my husband, who just got home a little bit ago from work, and we will see you guys on Sunday. And peace, love, and Yellowjackets, everybody. See ya.
Have a good one.